the stars don't gleam. Angel whispers start breaking the dream. Hero rises from ashes and flame, bound by fate to reclaim his name. Him and won't consume, like it right through the endless gloom. The way of eternal light cuts through the veil of night. For the kingdom, for the fight, we rise with the blade of eternal light. Winds howl veil, cross through the veil of night. For the kingdom, for the fight, we rise with the blade of eternal light. Winds howl fierce, cross the shattered land. Demons tremble at the hero's stand. Through forest deep and mountains high, the fire within will never die. Ancient runes, they guide the way to the dawn of a brighter day. The blade of eternal light cuts through the veil of night. For the kingdom, for the fight, we rise with the blade of eternal light. Winds howl fierce, cross the shattered land. Demons tremble at the hero's stand. Through forest deep and mountains high, the fire within will never die. Cuts through the veil of night. For the kingdom, for the fight, we rise with the blade of eternal light. Eternal light.
Woo! All right, what's up? How y'all doing? Welcome in, welcome in. It is Tuesday, and I don't have a whole lot planned. I was just gonna hang out for a little bit and talk about what's gonna happen tomorrow, which is D&D. So I got my my robe on, rocking the Hugh Hefner gigs. All right. Weather permitting, I would like to wear this. What's up, Mind Z? I got Mind Z over on Kick. We got K2 and Corey Barton Big Soda hanging out with us over on YouTube, and apparently I have a 15-inch PP. Thank you so much, Byrix. That is, you know, ambitious, we'll say. As we get going, I will say that my donor goal up here at the top is a month ago. Please help me get there. I really need it. Also, down at the bottom, there are ways that you can participate in the D&D games. So, one of those ways is to buy a curse box for $25 or a loot box for $50. That's a bad thing or a good thing. And it is not natural. It is dyed, I swear. My roots are going to start coming in eventually. They're not there yet. Unnaturally says, yeah, well, I did dye it. My hair is dyed. Anyway, what am I saying? $25 for a curse box, $50 for a loot box. I am adding a D100 table of curses for the game tomorrow. So there'll be all kinds of cool shit you can do to the party. And we're going to take a look at that here in just a second. But also, you can just toss in $5 if you just want to buy a reroll for one of the characters. So keep that in mind. If you donate now and specify that you want it to affect one of the games, I will allow that to take effect when the game goes. So our games are the Sunless Citadel on Sundays. That's with lower class, Mind Z, Emmett, Heavy Fisted, and Nader Hunter. And then on Wednesdays is our primary game. That's with Rob Knorr. Who else is in there? Abe Dinkus. Because Race Car. Heavy Fisted's also in that one. Twisted is also in that one. And there's 2 other people. IP a lot and... Fuck. I forget. Oh, shit. Nate. I'm sorry, Nate. I forgot all about you, man. But yeah, that game will be tomorrow at 10 p.m. And then our Sunless Citadel game goes, well, it'll be next Sunday. So I need to add that into the schedule here. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. He does pee a lot, allegedly. Yeah, so do I. I mean, that's kind of like a symptom of being an old man, I think. Yeah, we can turn this on. There it goes. Alright. But yeah, for now, yeah. That's what I got. Got D&D coming up tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Let's take a look at the curses that I'm going to add. So, it's from this place called D&D Speak, which is just a blog, I think, that somebody put out. You'd be surprised how much, like, content and artwork and stuff is just out in the ether for free if you go looking for it. But... so there's 100 curses in here. Like one of these is you can't turn right until the curse is lifted. And I was thinking, like, a lot of these don't specify a time frame for how long it lasts. So I was thinking for those, for like this one, it'll last like an hour, which in a combat situation, that's a long time. Each full round of combat is only 6 seconds in the game. So an hour could be several combats, but yeah, that's all good, Z. Like I say, I'm not going to be here for a whole lot of time. I do got to go jump in Rob's chat and mod for him when he comes live. But, yeah, a player must close every door they walk through, even if there are people behind them. That's a funny one. Like, he just shuts the door right in your face. Like, what? No, I didn't. Like, yep, you did. You have to. Then there's some funny stuff like this one. For the next D4 days, every time the cursed attempts to speak, including to cast a spell, they must save versus intelligence or instead deliver a lengthy and discursive monologue on either bean cultivation, the daily schedule of an emperor who died thousands of years ago, the spiritual beliefs of spiders, the life cycle of a cherub, the various manias, phobias, or perversions of the nearest most powerful monarch, yada yada yada. There's 10 of these subjects that you have to kind of just sit and wax poetic about instead of saying whatever it is you wanted to say. So that's kind of funny. Hey, Cat, what's up? Are you wearing a cloak? No, it's my robe. It's my wizard robe. Right? See? Like, I'm letting my beard go. Usually I cut it shorter than this. But I'm as long as I can, I'm going to let it grow out a little bit and get like a big Gandalf beard. That would be awesome. But all I'm missing is my pointy hat. I do have a hood, though. So I could just, like, cover my head like that. And then they're like, I am the DM, and I will rule the fate of all of the party members, and you will all, die. But, yeah, it's really hot, though. So, like I said, tonight's a particularly cool evening. We're probably going to have some really bad thunderstorms because of that, because it was like 90 degrees outside today, but right now it's like 65. So, hey, what's up? Coding way too much. That's, I know who that is. That's Fire, the one who walks through fire. What's up, man? Kentucky Fried Ginger. Robe equals cloak, says Cat. Well, kinda, but a cloak doesn't have like arms in it. It's kind of just a blanket you throw over yourself. But you stop bugging me. Go on somewhere. I do not want the ball. You can have the ball. Yeah. Come on and get it. Here. One. Out. Okay. I'll bet you the Tigers game gets rained out. Yeah, maybe. What? Tigers. I don't know who the Tigers are. So much flooding all over or on the interstates. Yeah, local library was flooded. No shit. I think fires up in Wisconsin. So that's pretty nuts. I don't think there's any flooding going on around here. I don't know. If there is, Eastern Kentucky is probably the worst to deal with it. But shit, that's Louisville. That's when the Ohio River flooded one time. But yeah. Oh, I don't think there's anything going on yet. I don't think. Detroit Tigers. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure, man. Prayers in the chat for those affected by the floods lately. For sure. Hey, we got Peggle G Dippus. What's up? Oh, hanging out with us over on Kick. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. What are we talking about today? I don't know, man. I was just going to talk about this table of curses and maybe some of my plans coming up in the near future. Like I said, we got the D&D game on Sundays and the D&D game on Wednesdays, and you can donate right now if you want to affect those games. And all that's kind of outlined in our ticker tape down at the bottom. It's $25 for a curse box, $50 for a loot box, and $5 for a reroll if you just want to buy a reroll for one of the characters. But the curse box is not necessarily always going to pull from this table, but it will occasionally. Most of the time, probably. But sometimes it'll just be an effect. Sometimes it'll be extra enemies or extra powerful enemies that pop up. So that'll be cool. Loot boxes come out of the... well, it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So here, let's go in here. I was also looking at some status effect tokens that I can add. I was going to use this one with a mask for status effects, whether or not you're cursed. And then there's other stuff in here, like flanking and then like knockdown. So these tokens are a lot better than the ones that are included by default with Roll20. I'm not sure how I got these. They must have come in one of the books that I've acquired recently, but... Yeah, Fire says, appreciate the prayers. It's wild how much flooding we've had in a short time. Yeah, this summer in particular has been pretty crazy for that. But there it goes. So there's a few of these in the DM's guide. But primarily what these are for is loot. Because I went looking for tables for curses, but there just aren't any in here. So I'm not sure why, but where did I find these? In treasure, yeah. So yeah, there's random magic items, arcana tables, armaments tables, and implements tables that we can roll from for like loot boxes. So that'll come in handy. Sure. Oh. Right. Okay. I haven't even looked at armaments yet. I'm not sure what's in there. Hope we get some nice fiery leaves this time around. Yeah, that would be cool. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I don't know what any of this crap is. When I was younger, the maples looked amazing in fall. Yeah. Cast off armor. You can don off this armor as a magic action. For any armor. Okay, so this is like an enchantment that you can put on armor. They call those templates for some reason. But technically this could be any armor. Why would you want to don it off as a magic action? That seems silly. I don't know. This is another one. In darkness, the unsheathed blade of this weapon sheds moonlight, creating bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim for an additional 15 feet. That's pretty good. That would be helpful for humans trying to see in a dungeon or something, for sure. But one of the things that I did want to talk about, too, was that that one shot that Rob was mentioning. So last round, this past Sunday, Nader Hunter actually got me the whole Tales from the Yawning Portal, which our Sunless Citadel campaign is actually coming out of Tales from the Yawning Portal. The Yawning Portal is an inn in Waterdeep, which is like a big town. There are a few big towns along the Sword Coast. Baldur's Gate, you know, is a big famous one that everybody knows because of the game. Then there's Waterdeep. There's also Neverwinter up in the north, which is another big game that they turned that into a video game too. Those are the three big ones that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, the Yawning Portal. Oh my goodness, dog! Hush! No! Hush! He's barking at thunder. Hush! Hush! No! Hush! My goodness, I'm gonna sit here the whole stream fighting with the dog. What am I saying? Is the Yawning Portal is called the Yawning Portal because there's a big well in the middle of it that leads down into this gigantic dungeon underneath, which ironically belongs to a totally different module. But there's a lot of stuff about the bar and the barkeep and the history and lore of it inside of the book. But in addition to that, it comes with these shorter adventures. Each of these could potentially be... Okay, hold on just a second. I'll be right back. Okay. I try to leave him out of the kennel, and whenever I'm talking into my microphone, he's like, "Woof! You have to pay attention to me, no, woof!" Because it has not done that all fucking day until right now. I swear. Okay, anyway. So these are a lot of shorter modules that are kind of designed to be standalone adventures. They're not necessarily leading into each other, but the way Tales of the Yawning Portal kind of maps them out, it could be one big contiguous adventure that takes you from level 1 in the Sunless Citadel all the way up to level 17 in the Tomb of Horrors, which is a long way to go. So that's kind of cool. But I thought for our one shot, this one would actually be perfect. It's called the White Plume Mountain, so it's kind of a volcanic mountain, I think. But there's a story about like a wizard who built his lair inside of the mountain, and he hid inside of his lair 3 or 4 magical weapons. And so he'll invite the players into the dungeon to try and overcome its trials and find the magical weapons. And it's a relatively, like I say, it's a relatively short kind of dungeon crawl. It's pretty good, and I think it's perfect for a one-shot. And it's designed for level 8, which is pretty cool. That's higher than either of the other 2 campaigns that I'm running. The guys in the campaign tomorrow are at level 4, and the guys in the campaign on Sunday are only level 1. They'll probably get to about level 3 before the end of the campaign. So running a campaign or a short one-shot for level 8 players would be super cool. That'd be challenging for me, and it would be interesting for everybody playing the game and interesting for everybody watching the game too. So that'd be really cool. Level 4 Lobster says, I'm sure everyone is asking, but if you're ever looking for a new player, I'd love to join. Hell yeah, man, for sure. I think, aren't you the one who DM'd me on Discord about Foundry? I think that was you. But I am, I'm interested in trying out Foundry. I'd love to, but I have so much invested in Roll20 already, and then people keep buying me stuff for it. So I'm kind of hitched to Roll20 right now. But I'd love to try it out. And the other thing is I go through a lot of work to make these things work the way I want them to, right? Like the map in Sunless Citadel is custom. All the maps that I'm using in Dragon of Icespire Peak, except for like the world map, are all custom maps that I actually laid out. That wasn't you? Okay, I'm sorry. But all the maps in Dragon of Icespire Peak, except for the world map, I've laid out custom maps for that and done all of the dynamic lighting and everything myself. Because I really like some of the custom maps that are out there and available for free. Those are freaking great. And some of them are pretty cheap too if people want to charge money for them. It's like, you know, I don't know, $4 or $5 and you can get a whole set of custom maps for an entire campaign. So, 'cause a lot of times the maps that are included with the modules are just kind of lackluster. Like originally, you know, the way you're supposed to do it is I'm supposed to get out graph paper and trace out the shapes on graph paper. And we're just supposed to use our imagination to think about what it looks like inside of there. There isn't supposed to be any art at all. So that's kind of the attitude the books take on it. Is it's a very basic map. That sort of just tells you how big all the rooms are and how long the hallways are and how they interconnect and everything. I think it's really cool to have some interesting art there, though. There's also this one thing that I've been sort of playing with a little bit, and I've seen some of the maps that I have actually came from here, but it's called Incarnate. Yeah, spelled like that, I think. Yeah, that's it. So this is actually like a map builder, and this is the kind of stuff you can make with it. And like most of the free maps that I've come across were actually made using this map building engine. So I think you can do some really cool stuff with this. I just need to, I'm gonna end up having to pay him some money to use it properly. But it says you can try it for free, but then when you get into the editor's like, it just doesn't have anything. But oh yeah, level 4. Level 4 Lobster says, I've really enjoyed your GMing, but I'm just super late for me to watch in full. I like to keep the VODs. I'm supposed to not keep them on this channel, but I have been keeping them on this channel recently. And for future reference, they will remain available on the D&D channel, which is that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, all of our sessions are going to be available there. I haven't made a playlist yet for Sunless Citadel, so I should probably go ahead and do that. Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of them, isn't it? Oh, this is the wrong account. I'm a dummy. I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not, but like all this AI music has just been stuck in my head for the longest time. Maybe it's because I keep listening to the same songs over and over again, but okay, cool. Now you're playing stuff that's not on my playlist. You're supposed to stop when you get to the end of the playlist or repeat the playlist. Dummy. That's okay, we don't really need it. Oh man. Okay, anyway, then we'll also feature the playlist. I'll go ahead and do that. What is up, Achilles? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, this channel is struggling, y'all. So do go check out D&D Shenanigans 696 on YouTube. Give him a sub. Subs are free. But I don't know. We'll get there eventually. Okay. Boo doo doo doo. Boo doo doo. Doo. Boop boo, 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 boo. Deck as opposed to the main deck down below. Well, this little highlight video is actually from
There's a little bit of
our first campaign,
some other stuff.
which is only available on Rumble.
Seaweed.
Because I didn't have this channel at the time, and I don't know. You might be able to dig into my live VODs over here and find it, but everybody's silent today. Yeah. I don't know. It's Tuesday. It's bound to be a slow day for most people. But I just wanted to give a little update on the D&D stuff. You know, this has actually been... Yeah. The original campaign is Rumble exclusive content. So I am streaming live to Rumble right now. So that'll get you the Rumble channel if you want to check that out. But this was a fun campaign too. This is Dragon of
the, what do we call this?
Dragons of Stormwreck Isle.
Jib.
Yeah, the front jib is supported by rocks.
Can I
From underneath.
walk out to the end of it and in
Oh, no, it's not
twisted
Jib.
fashion and take a leak off of it?
Sure. Sometimes you just kind of have to say, yeah,
You can get
I don't
them
care.
out here without breaking anything.
I'm before the wood actually breaks.
Let's
Okay. I was gonna say I'm agile as fuck, boy.
We were using D&D Beyond for the character sheets at the time, but I thought, you know, the Roll20 2024 character sheet would have been better. It has been a bit jank, but
You are in. Yeah. Well, all right, fine. Get out to about there. Get out to there.
All right. I'm out at the very tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
So all these highlights come at different levels on the Stormwreck, on the shipwreck in Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, but we did eventually finish the campaign. They hunted down the dragon and killed him. So, but yeah, hopefully, I mean, we will eventually get there with Dragon of Icefire Peak too. You gotta remember, we're still pretty early on in this campaign, and to your point, level 4 lobster, you know, I wish I could take on another character, man. I really do, but there's already 7 people playing that game. Can you fucking believe it? It's fucking nuts. Yeah. Oh, shit. We've had 6 episodes, too. So episode 6 is not yet up on the D&D Shenanigans channel. I need to upload it. I forgot to stream it, but yeah, we have all of these characters are currently playing this adventure right now. So there's something relaxing about campaigns, maybe last escape from reality. Yeah, man. It is, you know, and like I try to describe this to my nephews all the time because my nephews are kind of into D&D and they're trying to do their own thing, you know. What are they doing? They're working on a homebrew that's based off of a video game. It's like some kind of shooter video game, though. So I was like, no, you guys haven't even read the damn rule book yet, I swear. I gave him the rule book like 3 months ago. He still has not sat down to read it. But I try to tell them is that it's a collaborative writing effort is really what's going on. Like, you as the DM are sort of just controlling the world around the characters, and the characters are really writing the story, you know. And you're just kind of saying what happens. So, how's Boober doing? He's great, man. I'm actually surprised. Like, I thought I would have a lot of notes for Rob, but I don't. He says he's never played before. I find that difficult to believe. I think he's lying to me. Because he's doing everything exactly by the book, and he's correcting me on some things, actually. Like, one of the things that I keep forgetting is that when he's raging, he has immunity to, not immunity, but he's resistant. Yeah, he has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, that's most of the physical damage in the game. So we got to remember that, because it's whenever an attack lands against him while he's raging, he only takes half damage. So I got to remember that. That's the trade-off, you know. you get that bonus for raging, but then you can't wear armor. So, like that's another thing I try to get my nephews to understand is that what is it? There's a balance to the game. It's very carefully balanced. So if you don't pay attention to the rules, you don't follow the rules, it's very easy for things to get out of whack. And for one side to be a lot more powerful than the other or vice versa. Generally, I tend to favor the player characters rather than myself. But also, one thing I remember I did wrong last week was the mage hand. I had the mage hand as like a large creature. Like it would that's what was in my head was like a hand big enough to hold a person, you know. But in reality, it's not any bigger than a regular hand. It is exactly the size of the caster's hand. So what I was thinking of, okay, was Big B's hand, I think, from Critical Role, right? Which is, if you don't know, it's Scanlan's a bard, I think, and it's his mage hand essentially, and it is actually that big, but it's a special spell. They had to invent that spell for that campaign, and I did not realize that. I thought it was just mage hand. Achilles says Rob is a nerd just like us. Yeah, he certainly is. Like I told him, you know, before last week's game, I was like, I've had notes for everybody. I've been DMing everybody, but I don't have any notes for you at all, man. Like you're taking to it like a fish in water. So, fucking A. I did tell him about my idea to run White Plume Mountain as the one shot, but he hasn't got back to me yet. That's okay. Maybe we'll talk about it later on tonight. But yeah, man, I have all of these cool little short adventures now. So that's super cool. And my players have actually contributed this stuff to me. I haven't paid for any of it. So I really appreciate that from those guys. So if nothing else, will you shut up? Hush. That's why you're in there is because you keep barking at me. Hush. Listen at him. He's talking back. Smart ass. Hush. Oh, I am gonna knock you upside the head. I swear. Hold on a minute. I'll put a blanket over his kennel. Freaking hardhead. I swear. I should have got a girl dog. You hear that? I should have got a girl dog and left you at the pound. I'm just kidding. Anyway, he is getting a lot better though. Normally when I take him out, I gotta keep him on a leash. I keep him on like a retractable leash and let him run around the yard. Because there's holes all along the chain link fence on one side of my yard. And that fence belongs to my neighbor. So I can't exactly replace it. And they're big enough for an adult fucking dog to wiggle their way through there. So I had to, there's that. And then he likes to dig a lot. So I kept him on the leash just to stop him from digging or running off somewhere. But today I had him out there a few times and we didn't have no leash, so. Level 4 Lobster says, I miss my puppy. I do too, man. I just had to put one down last year. Well, actually, yeah. I guess it's been about a year now. But last July, I had to put down Aussie Dog. And then last Christmas, I went and got Frodo. So, he's about 8 months old now. He's okay for 8 months old, you know. For an 8-month-old, headstrong, adolescent puppy dog, he's doing pretty good. Doyamani's still here. I hear that, man. I hear that. He's a German Shepherd, so I'm worried about like hip dysplasia in his older years. That's not gonna be cool. But I don't think he's full-bred German Shepherd, though. He does not have a big bushy coat like my other German Shepherd did. Yeah, it's kind of more short and tightly knit, close to his body. Level 4 says lost my Leonard in November. Well, shit, man. God rest his soul. You know, I think the Bible tells us that animals do not have souls, and I just cannot agree with that. You know, my dogs definitely have souls. They're not soulless beasts. Not all German Shepherds have that bushy coat. Yeah, well, it could be. Could be. You know, I saw him. He had one blue eye and one brown eye. I was like, oh, I gotta get him. I gotta get him. Oh. He has been a bit of a terror, though. There's paper is just strewn in shreds all over my floor right now. Because his favorite thing to do is to destroy shit. So occasionally I will give him a cardboard box or a tissue or something like that, and he'll have a ball just tearing it up. But there's 3 different breeds of German Shepherd, huh? I did not know that. Interesting. Yeah, that's what they told me at the pound, is that he's a shepherd. They weren't entirely sure what kind. So, which, like, to my mind, could mean an Australian Shepherd, you know? But he's definitely not an Australian Shepherd. He does not have the markings of an Australian Shepherd. But he does have the one blue eye. All your puppies are waiting to hang out once I leave this plane. I hear you there, man. I hear you there. But yeah, I mean, it's just been awesome that everybody's been willing to sort of plug and help me build out this library on Roll20. So we have tons of adventures that we can go through now. Tomb of Horrors, I think, would be a great one to do on like Halloween or something like that. I'm not sure how big this one is. I don't know if we could get it done in one sitting. It might be a little too big for that, but this version of the adventure was crafted for Gary Gygax's personal campaign in the early 70s. Nice. So this is a legendary module right here. This is Gary Gygax shit right here. Went on to be featured as the official Dungeons and Dragons event at the original Origins Gaming Convention in 75. The first publication of Tomb of Horrors as a part of the advanced D&D game came in 78. And this game is 10 years older than I am, damn near. As a proving ground for characters and players alike, fabricated by the devious mind of the game's creator, Tomb of Horrors has no equal in the annals of D&D's greatest adventures. Only high-level characters stand a chance of coming back alive, but every player who braves the tomb will have the experience of a lifetime. Starting level. High level. It's tough. It doesn't even tell you where to start. You may as well just roll up level 20 characters for this one, probably. But that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'd like to try that one out. But yeah, man. Oh, then I have this as well. So this is actually the physical copy of Dragon of Ice Fire Peak. That's why that one's not listed in here. It's pretty short, honestly. There's not a lot to it, but it ends up being a very long campaign, though. It's kind of its own little collection of several little mini dungeons. But that is pretty cool. I do like it a lot. And I'm really getting into this D&D stuff. I really, it's a lot deeper and more complicated than I ever imagined it would be. So I'm impressed by that. Super cool stuff. So I think the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that I have been trying to kind of study other dungeon masters on YouTube a lot. So and this is something else I've learned about too, is like there's several different like gaming systems that you can work with. Daggerheart is one of those that was, I think, the people who made Darrington Press, that's who made Critical Role. That's all those guys. and it's like it's like its own little system. That's a bit different than regular D&D. And then there's another one called Pathfinder. Yeah, Pathfinder is essentially D&D 3rd edition, but slightly different. So there's some modules I can get for that. And then there's one called The One Ring, which is one I wanted to try out because it's based on Lord of the Rings. Something interesting about Lord of the Rings that a lot of people may not realize is that there's only 4 people in the entire world of Middle-earth that can wield magic. So that kind of makes it fundamentally incompatible with D&D, because D&D is a lot about using and wielding magic. But only the Astari can actually use magic in Middle-earth. Nobody else does. They had to make up their own game, their own version of D&D in order for it to actually work with Lord of the Rings. And that's what the One Ring tabletop RPG is. So instead of magic, you get like these feats and traits and attributes and characteristics that sort of give you advantages in doing certain things and making certain types of attacks. And some of it might seem magical, but none of it is actually magic. So I've been watching some people play that. Yeah. And so one of the guys that's like been a big inspiration to me is this guy. He's kind of young. I think he might be 30, but he's been doing YouTube for a long time. So I highly recommend. He has a lot of funny meme videos where he makes fun of D&D and D&D players and hilarious shit on D&D Beyond. Hey, what's up, Agrilopolis? But they do a separate channel called Arcane Arcade, which is where all of their sessions actually take place. And yeah, I mean, it seems like they're doing another game like every day or every other day. But yeah, I watched them play Sunless Citadel before I decided to run it. That's where a lot of my reference was coming from. He tries his damnedest to be, and look, they're like right about where we are in our session. Like, back up just a little bit, right there. That's where we are.
All this quarantine.
So, our players are actually like right here on the map, which is kind of cool. I just happened to pick it up right there. But then, what else? Robert. Yeah, this Robert guy. Captain Robert? Yeah, Captain Robert. He's actually really good too. So he runs this Vecna Eve of Ruin game that they've been playing for a long time. Yeah, he's got quite a few of them going on, doesn't he? But I've been trying to just watch him to learn what Vecna Eve of Ruin actually is. One of the things my nephews was asking me about, but these guys are really good. And one of their players is usually Batty. I guess he misses a lot, apparently, which I like Batty. I think Batty's one of the greatest gun tubers there is. He's fucking hilarious. Super high energy dude. But have I heard of Save or Die? I have not. I have to check him out. But Robert uses Foundry. So that's another reason why I like to watch Captain Robert, is to see all of the differences in Foundry and Roll20 and whether or not it's worth paying in $50 and running my own server. Because that's what you have to do with Foundry. I have to actually run a server to allow everybody else to access the game. But let's see. Save or die. Nice. Like they might be bigger than Captain Robert. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like it's actually kind of a flooded market on YouTube. Because there's so many people out there playing the game and interested in the game, and it's really kind of cool how many people are deeply interested in this stuff.
Through which the primal energies of the world come through. And so if that plant is growing right on a ley line, it might just be fed water. Old magic is raw and unrefined. Us modern wizards would call these things the fundamentals. Even Ferris, of old, he was the first one to really understand the fundamentals. He created modern wizardry as we know it. The upper left corner image, that symbol sits at the very apex of the gateway back in Aknara.
Selma Tailwind told us that this symbol means 4 elements and the staff that holds the world.
Did you all see my message about the map at the end of the last episode?
Oh.
Yeah, what an idiot idea.
No, I think there's something you
Dog
you should-
shit idea.
Really?
Terrible idea.
No, I didn't read it. I don't know.
I'm saying that the map, right, that we saw could have been what these islands look like before the sea rose.
You know what?
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. There's another one I was really getting into. Mavericks? Is that it? Tales of Avantris. That's it. Yeah, these guys. These guys are fucking hilarious. But one of the things that Heavy was telling me about them is that a lot of their stuff ends up being pre-scripted a little bit. Because I think these guys are professional voice actors, just like
children to be.
what is it? Critical Role is. And there's a certain amount of stuff that's kind of predetermined before they start their sessions, and the players probably know more about the behind the DM screen than they should. But it's still very well presented, I think. Yeah, and these guys are nearly as big as Critical Role too. So, but I do occasionally watch these guys in Critical Role just because it's a good time. I'm like, I can just sit down on my couch for 2 hours and watch this instead of a movie. Like, that shit is actually really cool to me. But what was it? Critical Role was just in Australia. They just did a live session in Australia. Yeah, this is like yesterday. Or the day before, I think, is when they actually did it. But and then they ended up releasing it like a day after it's over. But I sat and watched that live. That was actually really good. It always is. I don't know how they do it, but they just have a penchant for making the game extremely compelling. It's really cool. Yeah, there they are.
You, Matt.
And you can imagine that they're in a stadium in front of like 11,000 people. Yeah, playing fucking D&D. That shit is nuts.
Nope.
Oh, we got a few.
Somebody's here.
I think they all dressed up as their characters.
Whoever you mighty 8 might be. Thank you, Sam. And thank you, Hit Point Press. For next bit announcements, Marisha, if you don't mind.
And if I'm honest, it was I think this is a spinoff of their third campaign, but it was their second campaign that really got me into it, which has been a year or two back now. But since they finished it off, and each one of their campaigns lasts like nearly a year, but yeah, these guys are great. I fucking love these guys. And I found out Marisha Ray is actually from Louisville, Kentucky. Isn't that cool? I never knew that. But that's kind of cool. And she's married to Matt Mercer. I didn't know that for the longest time either. Matt is not from Kentucky, though. And to be frank, I don't think Marisha Ray really spent a whole lot of time here. And she moved on pretty quick. But, Level 4 Lobster says, just got home from work and I hang with the family. I might be on for Rob's show. If not, have a good night. Yeah, you too, man. I'll keep an eye out for you. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to end it here pretty soon. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about other than some of the D&D stuff and the fact that I'm going to add the random table to the game tomorrow. But I am constantly looking for more groups to try and just study and learn about the game from, Because, like I say, before we started Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, I had no experience at all DMing. Well, that was my first ever foray into Roll20, my first ever foray into DMing, and it was a hell of an experience. And it has been quite a trip so far. So I'm doing my best. I'm always open to suggestions and new masters to try to study, So. Kokoshuko Papashingo. What's up, man? Good to see you. But yeah, and I'll just remind you guys once more that our journal goal is a monthly goal. And down at the bottom is ways you can interact with the game by donating a little bit of money. So, Agrilopolis says, I used to play when I was a kid. Yeah, man. My parents think it's dumb, but I thought it was a good time. It has been a lot of fun, and there's been a lot of interest in it. So I'm very surprised by that. But yeah, we got this one shot coming up, so been meaning to catch one of your sessions. Yeah, man, what we do on Sundays, we do the Sunless Citadel at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Wednesdays, we do Dragon of Icespire Peak, and that one is our main campaign with Rob Noor and all the people from my previous campaign. And that's at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as well. So Sundays or Wednesdays, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So the time ago, says Agrilopolis. Yeah, the game has changed a lot. It really has. And you can see it in the Sunless Citadel. The Sunless Citadel was actually originally published in like 1986, I think, which would make it just as old as I am. But it is much more of a traditional dungeon crawl, which is a little bit different than our primary campaign on Wednesdays. On Wednesday, Dragon of Icespire Peak kind of gets into a little bit more of the world building and the political intrigue and the different factions that exist, the Xenatar, and we've injected the Order of Tempest because Magnus is a member of the Order of Tempest, and one of our character backstories, I'm not going to tell you who, is going to involve the Order of the Gauntlet. So for all that kind of stuff, I've been using the Forgotten Realms wiki. Yeah, there's the Zentarum right there. So, and this has articles on just about everything you could want to know about the Forgotten Realms and D&D in general. Now, I hate fandom.com. I really do, because their advertisements are just so invasive. It is awful. But using Opera seems to handle that pretty well. So if you're going to go to a fandom.com wiki, use Opera. Agrilopolis says DM side of it. What are you saying? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Woodsman Will? I didn't know you had red hair, Ginger. Have a good night. Well, I didn't used to have red hair. I dyed it. Somebody paid me to dye it, so I dyed it. That's hilarious. I think Woodsman Will is a ginger. Oh, man. It's been a while since I talked to him. I did have to ban him from my Discord, though. He said the N-word on my stream one time. So that's probably why he hasn't been around. But Agrilopolis says, my uncle would run DM for me and my cousins. We had a blast. I meant more info on how to build the world than just an average player. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A DM definitely has more info on that stuff for sure. But I mean, like, a lot of the module itself for the Sunless Citadel is basically just a big dungeon crawl. It's a big multi-level dungeon crawl. I'm not going to spoil anything about it because we're still running that game. We just started it. So you will see. You will have to tune in on Sunday to see. But you can see. But yeah, like most of these are. A lot of these are pretty old modules that have been revamped for the 5th edition of the game. Like we were just looking at Tomb of Horrors. That one's actually like a level cap dungeon crawl that was originally written in the 70s. So Sunless Citadel, I think. No, this one did not come out in the 80s. Sunless Citadel and Forge of Fury were both released in 2000 with the 3rd edition of the game, which happened in 2000, if you can believe that. They went from 1970 till the year 2000 and only had 3 editions. And then since the year 2000, we've had 2 more. 2.5 more, because technically there's the 2014 5th edition and the 2024 5th edition. They changed a little bit, going from 2014 to 2024. but not enough to call it a whole edition, I guess. So there's a lot of history to the game itself, too, you know, which is kind of cool to explore and try to understand. But yeah, man. I am enjoying it a lot, though. I really am. Anyway, I reckon that's about going to do it for me today. I just wanted to get something out here because I haven't been around a whole lot. It's hard to express how much work really goes into building the campaign and getting prepped for the next session and everything, which is probably going to take up a lot of my later on time tonight for tomorrow. So I have to. Where are we going? We're going to Butterskull Ranch finally. I have prepped out a lot for that campaign already. I got super excited and I was just like prepping. I got like 8 or 9 of the next sessions kind of covered already, but I do need to go over that thing with Nader Hunter and his mage hand. It is the size of a regular mage hand. And I think last session Magnus didn't even summon his spiritual weapon. I don't know why. And I gotta tell Joe Boober he takes half damage when he's raging. Stuff like that. So we'll get all that covered before the next session tomorrow. There's not a lot. There's not a lot this time around. So except Bray did wander off by himself and damn near get killed by some were-rats, but that's okay. I used DM's prerogative to make him not chase him. But it was fun. And I gotta get episode 6 up into the D&D channel. So maybe I'll do that a little bit later on tonight. But we will be running Dragon of Icespire Peak tomorrow with Magnus, Carlos Spicy Wiener, Bray, Joe Boober, Dink Gabriel, Remington, and Pat McGrind. That's pretty hilarious. Like when I was trying to do a Fallout 4 playthrough, and I asked the audience for suggestions for a character name, and Nader Hunter was like, "Name her Pat McGrind." I was like, "Oh, for crying out loud. All right." So he's been trying to work in a character into one of my streams named Pat McGrind for a while, and now he has finally succeeded. So but anyway, oh man, yeah, so let's take a look and see who's live on YouTube. What do we got going on over here? Yeah, Fabian Liberty's live. I say we give Fabian Liberty a ghetto raid. So I'll go ahead and put that link into your all's chat room over there. Fabian Liberty's pretty based. He often finds himself on the right side of an argument simply because the left is so freaking retarded. So, yeah. So y'all head over there. Say hi to Fabian Liberty and his crew. And let them know who sent you. So, Boomer Bob says, "I came for the robe. I stay for the robe." Thanks, Boomer Bob. I do appreciate you, man. But I was just about to head out. I gotta head out and get ready for Rob's stream. And like I said, there's a few things I need to do to prep for tomorrow. I still haven't eaten anything. So, relatively short stream today. But I do appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me. Again, our dono goal is monthly goal. These are all the ways you can interact with the game. And if you want to, during the outro sequence, to donate something and say it is to affect the game, I will allow that to happen. I'll make a note and we'll make it happen tomorrow. But be here tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our primary campaign, Dragon of Icespire Peak. That is with Rob Noor and a whole bunch of people. So be here for that, and I'll see you then. So, all right. Giggity, giggity.
Shadows rise across the sky. Iron wheels never die. Banners wave but streaked and torn. A legend born, a world reborn.
Also, like the stream and subscribe because I need more subscriptions. So help me out with that. If I had 500 subscribers, I could raid eventually, I think. Or maybe no, it's if I have 500 subs, I can take super chats, and then if I have 1,000 subs, I can raid. I don't know why YouTube does it that way, but that's how they do it. All right, anyway, like and subscribe.
Louds collide, the heavens scream. Through fire and steel, we chase the dream. Wings of eternal flame, we soar through the storm, through the war, through the war. Like the fires break their chains, forever bound by the dragon's veins. Mountains quake beneath our stride. Destinies clash, none can hide. Another fire, a vow of steel. The ancient runes, the truth revealed. Rivers of wrath, oceans of light. We rise to fight in endless night. Rings of eternal flame. We soar through the storm, through the war, through the war. Like the fires break their chains, forever bound by the dragon's veins. Wherever bound by the dragon's veins.